So we are back. This is our first episode back for quite some time. We had a bit of a hiatus, didn't we, hon?
A gap year, which is what they call it when you leave school and you have some time off.
If only ours was that fun, but it hasn't quite been as enjoyable as what I imagine a gap year might have been because we've been through it.
Can I just say,
Haven't we?
I feel like most people that I talk to had a really hard time in 2025.
Really?
Yes.
We weren't the only ones?
I don't know if it's my circle of friends, but I feel like everybody really struggled.
It was a hard
this
year.
year or last year.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you can relate, let us know. I'd be interested to find out.
Yeah.
But anyway, in this episode, thank you for those who are joining us, our first one back in some time. The plan is to keep these going now in the new year, in 2026. So during this time, I imagine most people will be thinking about things that they might want to add or change about their life in the new year. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about where we've been and what we've been up to, some of the challenges that we have faced, and we're going to talk about some of the games, the secret games that we've been.
We have secret relationship games that got us through 2025.
Yeah, they were a godsend for us. So hopefully you can try them out if you are listening and in a relationship, even if you're not in a relationship. I'm sure some of these things will still be an interesting thing to try out with a buddy or someone else.
With a buddy, that sounds so like if you're in a relationship, although you could probably use these type of cues that we're about to release later on in this episode with a friend maybe. Maybe you could call it a platonic game as well.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Horrible Bosses. You know that scene where he's showing off the shower buddy?
Oh, yeah.
He said he wanted to call it the shower daddy. Why would you shower with your dad?
Why would your buddy be in the shower with you? Why would your dad?
Yeah. That's a good movie, that one.
Anyway, so Stephanie, where have we been? What the hell's been going on?
Well, we've been building businesses that have not launched yet. And we've been maintaining a business for the last 3 years. Well, this will actually be going into year 3 of this business with some big upgrades and improvements, which has been taking a lot of our time and energy.
And what is that business?
This is a Lift It. So Lift It, our gym app, is getting a huge upgrade. And then we also have a meal application coming out to complement Lift It, because we know that in order to have success with your training and your body goals and health, that diet is just as important.
100%.
So that's going to be huge for us and well in need. And then we have another project which we can't talk about right now because that's
Secret project.
The secret project.
Yes, but if you do want to check out those things and support us that way, you can. You can go onto either the App Store or the Play Store and look up Lift It. You will be able to find that. Probably by the time this comes out, these special upgrades that you are talking about may not have happened, but they will be coming in January. So now is the time to go get yourself set up if you are looking for a new training program, and you'll get to train with the one and only
Miss Stephanie. Actually, I don't even know what I am. I don't know what my official title is, but
we'll go with Miss Stephanie. And then the other platform that we've been building is called Meal Engine. So you can go on mealengine.com and sign up to join the waitlist for access of that when it launches, which is an automated nutrition meal planning software, which we've been working on for the last 6 or so months. So that has been very exciting, and what better time than the new year to have that all set up and ready. So if you've got health goals in the new year, we got you covered.
now there is another part of our life, I should say, that we don't really talk about, and that is children. We have 2 teens now. One is about to get his license. He's officially going to be 18 in 4 weeks. So we have been super busy with him. And then the other one, which is the girl, the 16-year-old, she's had a really, to be honest, rough 2 years, which it's not my place to talk about right now. And I'm sure there'll be a point where I can share more on that, but we're still in the thick of it. And so I need, I guess, my own protection of her and privacy for myself to just get through those hard times. But I guess I speak about this because we all have our hard times, and whether it's business, whether it's family, extended family, whatever it is, even your own mental health or your own well-being. I think that, the last year has been tough for everyone. Last couple of years, I think. And so just an encouragement to anyone out there that's had a bit of a rough time or going through the thick of it that, you know, like most things, it will pass. And the best thing that you can do is just continue to work on yourself so that you can become a stronger version of you and more resilient, because we're going to constantly face things in life that challenge us. And you can't throw your hands, give up and lie down and just take it. Sometimes you do just have to go through it, learn through it, grow through it. And by the time you're out the other side, you realize that you are one strong mother trucker. Mother trucker. For myself, that's one of the biggest things that I feel like I've noticed about me. Maybe the circumstances in my life haven't changed as much, but I know that I have. I feel like nothing can bring me down now because I've been down, you know.
Yeah, without going too much into depth, because we will keep some privacy around that. But yeah, the struggles that they've faced are significant, and whatever troubling thing you can imagine, it's probably along that pathway or worse. So it's been a very challenging time, that's for sure. And given that we do have these businesses that we're working on and are exciting, a part of the challenge with that is an inconsistent cash flow and many investments that are happening as well. So there's been many different challenges relationally with ourselves, with family, financially, physically,
like
body challenges,
mental health wise, all of it. So I guess we're here to sit and I guess speak about some of the things that have got us through and continue to get us through in our own journey to keep us still firing at life and to stay on above water, I guess, so to speak. And we're going to give you some of those insights and tips today.
But yeah, rest assured, if you are someone that is going through it, whatever that is, if you're in the thick of it right now, you are absolutely not alone. It can be so easy to look at people on social media, aka the highlight reel of everyone's life, and think that you are alone and what you're going through is unique and it's only happening to you. And it can be very easy to fall into victimhood. But just know you are not the only one. We are all facing some type of hardship, and that hardship doesn't necessarily mean that you will live there forever. As we're finding, most things happen in seasons. We are actually coming up to our 10th year
our
together.
Decade season.
Yes, and there have been periods or seasons in our journey together where we've been incredibly prosperous. Things have been going well, smoothly. Everything has been happy, and there have been other seasons where it feels like nothing is going right. And those fluctuations, those ups and downs are inevitable. And I think the more you recognize that, the more hopefully you can lean into just breathing through the dips when they are challenging. But yeah, we'll share a little bit about some of the things that have helped us during that period and something to consider. And in fact, I think you had an important analogy that you wanted to share.
Yeah, I did. And I'll kick it off with this. I'll kick off this first episode with this analogy. And it's not really an analogy. Well, it is, but it's something that actually in real time was happening at home.
Tell us.
So I have this peace lily plant named Harry. It has a name. I have become a plant person, so I have a lot of living things in my house.
Getting to that age, hon.
Well, I used to have plastic things, and then one by one I've replaced it with a living thing because I want to be around life.
Just to set the context, you're not exactly like a plant connoisseur or gardener yet, but you're somewhat
I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea.
That. Yeah,
I let the plants speak to me.
Go on.
If they're brown and going yellow, I know I've fed them too much. If they're drooping, I know I haven't fed them enough.
But you're taking it very seriously. And our house is very quickly filling up with many plants. Many.
I've got to be careful because some of them could be poisonous to my cats. I think peace lilies are actually one of those. I just tell the cats to stay away.
That's right.
But anyway, this peace lily I've had for 2 years. And so they're beautiful. They're really big, very tropical looking, and they have huge leaves, and they can grow like out of their pot, basically. And I always thought the bigger the better, even though sometimes the leaves would be weighing down and looking really droopy and dragging the rest of the plant down. But I never really cut them back because I didn't want to hurt it, I didn't want to get a pair of scissors and like start hacking at it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I just feel like I need to clean this up. It's looking sad, doesn't look happy, it's drooping down. The whole thing's going to tip over soon because it's kind of elevated off the floor. Anyway, I know we're in the warm season, so that probably helps a little bit with things growing, but I chopped it back. And within, I'm not even joking, 2 weeks, it started spurting or growing like lilies, the white lily, which it's supposed to do because it's a peace lily. And I was like, oh my gosh, you haven't been growing me flowers for the longest time and this is what's been in you? Like, are you crazy? And it's so beautiful. Every day we walk past it. I'm like, babe, look at that. I grab your hand and I pull you in there. I'm like, look at this.
Look at Harry.
And you pretend you're interested, of course. And you're like, wow, hon, well done. You give me the praise that I need, even though I know it's put on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the conclusion that I've come to and the spiritual aspect or the meaning or the metaphor, I guess, is that when you cut away what doesn't serve you anymore, get rid of the old, the new can grow. And sometimes we don't actually know what it is that's weighing us down until we have a good look at ourselves and then go, this doesn't serve me anymore. And sometimes you want to hold on to that thing that doesn't serve you anymore out of fear.
Most of the time.
For me, it was the fear of cutting it. I was like, well, that's kind of cruel. I know it's not like a dog or anything, but like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to cut away its leaves. It didn't do anything wrong. But cutting away actually served it because it was what the leaves were weighing it down. And so now it is able to be able to create new growth. And so if we relay that back to our lives as individual people, not as a couple right now, but as a person, cutting away what doesn't serve you anymore can kickstart growth that you never even knew was possible or that was coming. And so I would encourage anyone from this metaphor to assess where they're at this year before we go into the thick of it for 2026 and ask yourself, what's not serving me anymore? What's weighing me down, and cut it away. And it might be like a relationship you're in that's not good. Is it toxic where it can't be worked out, or is it like the way that we're doing things isn't serving me anymore? We need to do something different this year, whether it's go and get couples counselling, communicate better, do a course together. Doesn't mean like, oh, my relationship sucks, cut, bye. It can mean in any part of the sense because everyone has a different thing that they're going through, and I don't know the severity of what that is, but I would encourage you to reassess so that there can be an opportunity for 2026 to have new growth. You had the year of, going through it. Now it's time to
sprout,
flourish.
You know what's funny? I thought you were going to talk about the other plant.
Oh my God, which I have two.
We have gone through this process with two of our plants. One of which is Harry, as Steph was just talking about, the peace lily. But there was another one. We should give the full context. So what happened was we had some renovations done to our house last year. It'll be last year by the time this gets spoken about. We ended up moving into my parents' house for a few weeks while they were away and the renovations could get finished. In their house, they have a bunch of plants, which is part of where the plant obsession has come in. Anyway, while we were away, there was one plant in particular that wasn't getting well looked after to the point where it completely died.
And it was a gift too.
It was a gift.
From some special people in my life.
And this plant, it wasn't just not sprouting, it was dead. It was beyond gone. At least that's what I thought.
Dried out, roots
It was in a bad way. Anyway, I was like, oh my gosh,
throw it out. You said throw it out.
Yeah, I was ready to just chuck it out and be done with it because it looked awful. And it really did look awful. But Stephanie refused to give up, especially because it was a gift. And you said, I just want to keep it here, even though it looks awful. And you cut off all of the dead strings or the dead sprouts, all of the dead leaves, and you kept watering it and you left it on our kitchen bench, which wasn't very pleasant.
Rotting
because
plant.
It literally looked like a weed on our kitchen bench. And every morning I would get up and be like, this chick's crazy. Like this thing ain't coming back.
And do you know what I said to you?
What?
I said, what appears dead isn't always dead.
Preach. And sure enough, I don't know how long it took. I reckon it took a month.
Longer.
Or, yeah, a
Try
while.
like 3 months.
A long time. Like we're talking, we should try and get a picture of it. Anyway, it was
Just watering nothing. I was
just
watering a weed
watering a weed, literally.
every day.
And you kept believing and you kept saying, no, it will come through. Now, fast forward to today. It's still not a...
It grew 1 leaf.
It is not yet
and it looks demented.
It is not
Is
yet.
that a politically incorrect word? It looks
Yeah, that's
unhealthy.
fine.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a picture perfect plant.
Yeah.
But much to my disbelief, it sprouted a healthy looking leaf out of the big weed that was what appeared to be on the surface. And going back to, I guess, your analogy, things were happening underground that we couldn't see or that I couldn't see. And it was very easy for me to be skeptical about nothing changing. But with your belief and continual efforts in watering what you could not see enabled a plant to sprout.
And so we're using that analogy with our businesses. Right now we're in the building phases, the watering, and there's a lot of things we cannot see. But day in and day out, we're just showing up and watering it for no gain.
Yeah.
Like if anything, it's taking more than it's giving now.
Yep.
But I feel like that's so powerful that if you
100%.
can be the person that is so relentless and you don't give up and you just believe, eventually, even if it's not even like giving you anything right now, if you believe in it enough and you give it enough thought and love, that something will come of that. You can't work hard and then not get anywhere. But to that same end, if you're working hard and you can see something's a drag, like for us, for instance, the Eyegate clothing brand
That we had.
and we shut down because we realized that was something that was completely draining our soul.
That was a clothing brand that we ran for 2 years.
Yeah.
And did really well, but
It did well, but we couldn't give it what it needed to survive.
And it was, we were trying to conquer many things at once, which made it very difficult.
Yeah. So we realized that had to be a branch, to cut. Because our attention had to go elsewhere that was more pending. And that's fine. So you have to come to that decision of when is the time to cut something and when is the time to go all in and be relentless.
Which, by the way, is not an easy thing to do. Like that was a very emotionally charged decision for us to make because we had a lot of customers and a lot of people that really enjoyed what we were doing with the brand.
Yeah.
Love the clothing. We built some great relationships throughout that business venture. But sometimes those hard decisions need to be made in order for you to get to the next stage in wherever it is that you're going. So I think the same sort of thing to further this analogy with, if we use Eyegate as an example for us, that was a thing that was draining a lot of resource from us financially with our time and especially as we were trying to grow another business, which was Lift It, our training application at the time. It just became too much. And
then the kids going through
everything
what she went through.
Everything that they went through as well. Yeah. It's a necessity to evaluate and audit your life and what you're doing with yourself right now.
Yeah.
And I think that during this time, us both being fitness professionals, we have worked with many people at this time of year especially that are looking to set New Year's resolutions and add all sorts of different things to their routine. But sometimes the best thing that you could do instead of add is to actually subtract and maybe audit what it is that you are doing right now. And before you begin to add, before you make space for that new plant or that new branch to sprout, maybe you need to cut away what's dead or what is not working. I don't know what that is for you, whoever you are listening, but I'm sure something probably comes to mind. There are a few things that I think we could talk about that we're seeing that has become an absolute epidemic for everyone that I think everyone could probably relate to if you are scratching your head wondering what that thing might be. And I think one of the biggest problematic things at the moment is social media. And it is getting worse and worse for both men and women and creating such toxicity in people's mind if you don't use it wisely. And mind you, obviously, like we wouldn't be doing what we're doing without social media. So we're very grateful for the platforms, but with great power comes great responsibility, and anyone that is using these platforms needs to be extremely cautious as to how you're using them. As a woman, you especially, faced with, especially as AI gets better and better and filters and...
My mental health took a dive this 2025. I got to think about what year we're in. Life and time is going so quickly. But working on social media, I found myself being dissatisfied with me from what was put in my face. The filters, the perfect lives, the perfect people, girls that don't even exist because they're now AI. I remember like going through, like doing a little flicky, which I try and not do, but sometimes you do it, you scroll, and seeing like this chick on a podcast like this, just so articulate and so perfect looking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she is beautiful. And then I go on her page and she's an AI model. And I'm like, I keep getting tricked that this perfectionism and perfectly articulate and successful and whatever people exist. And maybe there are, no one's perfect, but maybe there are people that are the 0.1%. But most of the time, like when you're on there, it's like everyone except you. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing as well, recognizing that in reality it's the 0.1%, whereas when you're on social media, it can appear that it's 50%, even higher.
Yeah, but they are in the pool of like, but then even so, not even, because what I'm talking about is AI and how dangerous that can be.
AI.
What
Captain.
did I say? What did I say? AI.
AI.
Stop it. You're putting me off. I need more caffeine. Jeepers.
But yes, it is. I think this is important equally for both men and women because we are living in a very exciting time with all of the advancements that are happening with AI, and no different to social media. When social media first came on the scene, it can be used for a lot of good, but it can also be used for a lot of bad.
Yeah.
And what will happen very quickly, and it's already happening if you haven't realized, is there will become all of these AI avatars of these people that appear, and in fact, not even appear, they look as good as you can imagine. And within a single prompt, they can be in a different outfit, a different location, they can be doing a different thing. And all of a sudden, you as a human are viewing this avatar that is not human, that is looking perfect and doing all of these incredible things.
Yeah.
Now, this was already bad when humans were just portraying their own highlights because that's what a lot of social media it is. Like people are trying to curate their content to make themselves appear more successful, more happy, more whatever than what they actually really are. But now we're going a level further of people being able to do this with a few clicks or a few words into a prompt machine and voila, we have this avatar. And I think for women, like one of the dangers is the comparison trap that you talked about, which is, by the way, is something that I think, I'm not a woman, so I can only speak for myself, but as far as I understand about women's psychology, it is such a normal thing to compare and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that it's very easy to say, just don't compare, like it's so simple. But in reality, even biologically, women, if we think back to caveman days, like one of the things that women biologically had to do was ensure that they were the most attractive mate in order to survive in the tribe, right? Otherwise they would be shunned or outcast or whatever. So biologically, primitively, at some point in the back of your brain, there is going to be a real thing which is going to want you to appear as the most desirable or as the most attractive version of yourself so that you can be accepted into the tribe, let's say. Totally normal. And I think anyone that just says, just stop comparing yourself is completely discrediting that deep-rooted psychological phenomenon, and it just isn't that easy to do. It's not that easy to switch off.
Yeah.
So one thing that you can do is curate.
Switch your damn phone off.
Or switch your damn phone off, or do an audit. Curate your algorithm. Whatever platform you are on, wherever you live, there is always a button that allows you to either say whether or not you are interested or not interested in the content that it is that you are viewing. And if you are continually viewing things that make you feel awful about yourself, this is the year. This is the year to say no more.
It's already happening. I'm seeing people that I follow and respect going, I can still run my businesses without being on here.
Yeah.
Or I'm like unfollowing all these people.
Yeah.
And then I read something on Threads the other day of a person who's like, I've been following this girl for so long, but then she had this success that I wanted and the family and the husband that I wanted, and I know I'll get it, but for now I have to unfollow because you make me feel bad. And it's awful that it's like that, but that is what happens. You see someone that appears, because everyone pushes perfectionism out that doesn't even exist, to be having a better life than you, or a better husband, or more money, or more success, and then you're looking at yourself going, "Oh, I'm with someone that doesn't even like buy me flowers," or and you start comparing, and you become really dissatisfied within yourself, the way that you look, and your partner, and your life. And then you're like, I could go find it somewhere else, and then suddenly you got all these problems in your relationship that you never had before. Yeah. And it's the same for men with women. And I'm sure that you can speak very strongly on that because of pornography, and that you don't even have to buy anymore, because it's the moment you open your phone, it's basically soft porn. And women also selling themselves for money in a wide range of things. So, yeah, we're living in a very... I wouldn't say weird world, but just a
world that is filled with distractions, and a world that really taps into the most primitive part of your brain.
That's probably, primitive.
That's right. And if you think about like the root desire or the root things that govern how a human functions, like I think that there's like a primate in all of us to some degree, where we are our most basic selves. If I think about it, in terms of our actual anatomy, the part of our brain that is the most basic part, or the fear governor, is the...
What? You're asking me? Did I even do science at school? I don't even know.
Is the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain, what it cares about: survival, safety, comfort, avoiding pain, repetition and habit, controls fight, flight, freeze, breathing, heart rate, basic instincts. It's reactive, it's fear-driven, hates change, loves certainty, works extremely fast. The brain asks, am I safe right now? This is the question that goes through all of the time. But essentially, the most primitive part of the brain, which we all have, is thinking, are we safe? Are we fed? Are our very basic needs met? And the most basic of needs is food, safety, and sex. So we talked about before, women are always looking for safety, and they go about that in their own way. Men often are driven by their sexuality. And food, very much food, you are right. But yes, different part of the brain. The limbic brain, on the other hand, the emotional part, the higher level, what we care about is emotions, belonging, love, motivation, meaning, memory, controls your mood, emotional reactions, attachment, desire, and reward. So we're talking about an elevated level of consciousness within the brain. And then finally, the neocortex is the highest form of the brain that cares most about logic, reasoning, planning, long-term thinking, self-awareness, morality, controls language, abstract thought, self-discipline, creativity, and choice. So this is the thing that separates us from animals. Right, that we have the ability to create our own environment, that we have the ability to think beyond our means and create things, which is part of the reason why we say that we're created in the image of God, right? We're separated from the animals in that sense. But going back to the point is that all of these platforms and even marketing for many different things is built around this exact thing. It's built around tapping into the most primitive part of your brain so that it captures your attention. And I think that it is so important, especially as we go into the new year, to be aware of that, because with the evolution of AI and as content is being spread more and more and more, it's only going to get worse. And if there is a time to cut away the branches and to think about how you can actually remain focused on the higher parts of your consciousness or your thinking, or stimulate the higher part of your brain, the neocortex, then the question is, what is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to give to the world? What is the thing that you're working towards? And how is it that you can eliminate those distractions which are everywhere? And one of the simplest ways to do it is to curate your algorithm on whatever platform it is that you are on. And you said before, like, admittedly, a challenge for all men. I don't care how holy they are. There are, even though it's all fake, the majority is fake, there is beautiful looking women everywhere. None more beautiful than you, honeymoon. But there is beautiful women everywhere. And I think that equally, as destructive as the comparison thing that we talked about with females, an equal challenge for men is to control your Eyegate and control what it is that you are looking at, because at the end of the day, these women or these avatars, especially when they are AI generated, are not real. They do not serve you in any way, shape or form. They are nothing other than a distraction. One of the best scenes in The Matrix, for those that have seen it, is the woman in the red dress. So like Neo's going through that training simulation, and all of these agents are around, all of these like NPCs, if we call them that. And then randomly a woman walks past him in the red dress. He gets distracted, looks around, and then his trainer says, you got distracted. That's death. He looks around and then he gets shot, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that it is no different. I think that getting distracted in that way leads to nothing good. And it's important to know that, and also important not to excuse that, because it's very easy to just think to yourself, it's no big deal. Like, we've had many conversations with guys especially that really justify like the idea that I should be able to look and I should be able to just do what I want to do. I'm not hurting anyone. It's no big deal. But you fail to recognize how much of your brain power that is taking towards what could be used to something good, to something constructive, to something that builds the life, whether it's your life or the life of your family. It is so destructive, and to try and justify it in any way, shape or means is just, I don't buy it. I do not buy it.
Not to mention, if you're in a relationship, how that makes the person feel.
Absolutely.
When you're following other women, you're
Absolutely.
looking at other women, your algorithm's full of other women.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the person that you're with feel insignificant, unseen, not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And how can you appreciate what you have when you're looking at every other option on the menu?
Mm-hmm.
It means that you will probably be dissatisfied with what you have, because you're seeing what does appear as better. Mm-hmm. When really, like you said, they don't exist, or it's like the perfect lighting with the perfect whatever and the perfect filter, and you're comparing your own woman to that.
Which is awful.
Unfair.
Yeah.
Unfair. And I think it can also put a real stick or dampen your own intimacy.
100%.
Because he's, like watching porn, having these expectations that are, sure, have great sex with your partner, have your expectations with her, but don't be watching something else and
having the comparison.
Yeah, and comparing. I really do. I was quite upfront with all of that stuff with you. I was like, this is my expectations of this. I don't want you looking at that. I wasn't like, I didn't see you doing a heap of stuff and then come at you about it. I was just straight up. I was like, when it comes to other females, I'm your one and only.
Yep.
Like that song Rihanna, Only Girl in the World. I wanted to be that for you. And so maybe I did put a big expectation on that, or maybe it was a boundary. Maybe for me it was a boundary. And so you knew straight up that if you did that, that would make me feel. So it wasn't a surprise if, a situation happened that I would lose my absolute.
Absolutely.
Absolute crap.
Because there was times, admittedly, like many years ago in our earlier years, like when we were just getting together, there was a time where you picked up my phone and you realized you went through my feed, the Explorer page on my algorithm, and there was
full of boobies.
Beautiful women everywhere. And
Boobies.
I, at the time, admittedly, like going from single guy to relationship guy, just didn't think anything of it. Like just thought this was normal. Go figure, heterosexual male, like attracted to females. So at that time, I didn't even realize. I just thought that was how it all was. And I didn't realize that there was actually a way that you can curate what's going on and remove all of that content, to which point now my feed, if I'm ever on my phone, which isn't actually very often these days, but it's full of motivational stuff, business-related stuff, funny things, and very rarely is there any sort of distraction in that sense ever on there. So it is absolutely doable, and you were very cautious to point that out to me.
Yeah,
and
and you at first were resistant to me pointing it out. You were like, what are you talking about? It doesn't mean anything is what you said.
Yeah, I think like I respected the fact that I loved you and I wanted you to feel like that only girl in the world. And then I think there's also this huge shame or guilt on men that, you know, they love their partner, they want to give their all to their partner, but then carry this sense of like dirtiness or this sense of shame about just being attracted to women. And it took me a long time to, I don't know, acknowledge or accept that within myself, and just come to terms with that yes, this is a thing, but I'm in control. I have the highest part of my brain working for me if I can curate my life accordingly. And if I really am made in the image of God, then I need to act like that rather than allow myself to regress into the most primitive, basic part of me, which isn't a part of me that serves me. There is a reason why we are different from animals, right? We're trying to create the reality in which we want. And I knew in that moment when you called me out, rightfully so, that wasn't something that was of service. And I was very open to that. I took on that challenge and it dramatically, like there's no part of not having that in my world was that of benefit at all. Like my life has only gotten better. I've only gotten more focused since not having that. We're talking many years ago. But it is, don't kid yourself into thinking that it's not a problem, and don't excuse yourself, men especially, don't excuse yourself in thinking no harm, no foul. There is harm and there is foul.
You can't have true intimacy with the person that you're with when you were doing that.
100%.
She knows it and she won't open herself up to you.
100%.
She will close all of her little safety doors that makes her want to fall into you, and for you to protect her and her to be completely vulnerable. She will shut the doors. You won't get your intimacy. You won't get the playful side of her. You will get the side that has all of her swords up ready to fight because she doesn't want to be hurt again. And so I think, yeah, true intimacy is having that trust with each other, being open, speaking about these things as well without shame and guilt. And you know what? To be fair and to completely like expose myself in the earlier days of our relationship, I probably was a bit of guilt and shame. Like, why the hell are you doing that? You know how that makes me feel. You know, I've learned how to, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning.
By the way, just to add to that, to defend myself slightly, I made a very conscious decision when we got together that I would not watch pornography.
Yeah.
Something that I had exposed myself to in my younger years. But when we got together, I made that decision.
I said, I'll be your pawn. Thank you very much.
You did. And you were. But yeah, I made a very conscious decision that I did not want to do that. That wasn't serving me. But I was a little bit oblivious and naive into what gets shown just on social media, because it is just as bad. Like obviously it's not as explicit, but there are girls everywhere in bikinis and doing all sorts of poses that do not serve you whatsoever to view.
Yeah.
And at the time I didn't even realize that. And I thought I was holier than now because I wasn't doing that. And so many guys do that. And that's normal.
Yeah.
So when I felt a bit hard done by originally when you were like, what's going on? And I'm like, what? I don't even watch porn. I don't do any of this stuff. And it took me a long time to even just reconcile within myself that, okay, like there is a part of my brain, this primitive part that we are talking about, that is susceptible to that. So instead of judging and shaming myself about being human, because I am a human, instead I just need to put myself in a better environment. And that's not hard to do. It's really not.
And I think, just going back to the whole guilt and shaming yourself and then having me guilt and shame you on top, I felt like that didn't go down well.
Definitely not.
And I think knowing you now and how to speak to you without too much emotion, when we converse or have an issue or a fight, I'll try and be as logical as I can so you understand me. Sometimes women have the habit of speaking with emotion and a lot of you make me feel like blame. I think now, like if I could have gone back and done that situation, handled that situation a little bit better, I would have been like, I've seen this on your feed. I don't know if you've been aware. I know it's not your intention. So just basically being on your side. I know it's not your intention. I know it's probably a primal instinct, but this is how it makes me feel. Not you make me feel. This is like when I see these things, it makes me feel not worthy.
I think the very natural reaction to a female, if you are facing that and your partner
You want to get a bat and just knock them out. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a bat and I wanted to knock you to the floor.
If you see your man looking at other women, it is very instinctual and natural to be like, you mother
trucker.
Like, how dare you? You are just a disgusting pig, whatever. And
you want her? Go with her then. Go be with her.
And it is so, I appreciate that it is so instinctual to think like that as a female. But I think if we speak...
Can I just point, sorry to interrupt, but on that, you know why? It's so easy to say that as a female. Because if we were to do that, means we're having an emotional attachment to that person. We're looking at them and imagining what they would be like in our life. Whereas you think the same when you're looking at someone. So like we get mad straight away because we think he's creating a life with her in his head. And it's not. You're just literally looking and then nothing happens, blank, and like you go on with your day. Whereas when females do it, it's just a different thing. So we put ourselves in that situation.
Which took you a long time to recognize.
That we're not the same person.
That women and men think differently. Yes, believe it or not, they think differently.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is like, there is the female version of this as well. This isn't just something that is susceptible to men. I'll give you an example of the female version. You ready? Oh. Do you see this? He brought her a Lamborghini for her birthday. Where's mine? That's one version. Yeah. Another version, depending on the woman, maybe she's actually the one posting suggestive type content, even though she's in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because there are two, like I think the primitive desires in both men and women are different. The primitive desire in men, they lead with their sexuality due to an increase of testosterone, whatever. They have a higher libido. I don't know how many studies you need to read to prove that, but that is a real thing. Females are driven by two things, safety and attention. So how can I be safe? The Lamborghini is a sign of they've got more money, therefore they are, or she is, safer than me. I want to be safe, so why don't you give me that?
Yeah.
So there's this comparison and there's the guilt.
This isn't a real fact. I don't care about Lamborghinis and I
I'm
don't
using
want
it. I'm using it as an example.
FYI, just an example.
But the premise of like that's the way I think the female can shame the male, because we talked about the judging him to being attracted to a good-looking female when he's a heterosexual male. Maybe that's normal. Obviously, if he's going over there, sending her DMs, liking her photos, whatever, fair enough. Throw him out.
Get the bat.
In that case. In the case that he just notices an attractive female and then goes on about his day and he doesn't think anything of it, then maybe he's okay. Maybe he's human. In the case of the shaming the man for not giving her what it is that she wants to feel safe or to feel successful or to get the attention that it is that she's wanting, then there's a problem. So this goes both ways. This isn't a one-way street. And I think that you have to be very careful in the way in which you communicate these problems when they do arise.
Yeah.
And I think that,
it can go bad. I think it went bad, although you were very, perceptive?
Yeah. Receptive?
Oh, yes.
Either or.
You were my brain. You were very receptive to what I was saying.
Yeah, I think that.
And you actually, like, even though it was loud and just stupid, you still heard the gist of what I was trying to get.
Yeah, because I loved you. I saw that was like, whilst I literally didn't think anything of it, at that time, I appreciated the fact that this was hurting you. And if I truly loved you, then why in the world would I want to do anything that would hurt you?
Yeah.
So I think always one of the gifts that maybe I've had in this relationship, and as a guy, I've tried to be as open and receptive as possible. And believe me, I have my moments of defensiveness and I have my moments where I don't like the things that you might be telling me. But when you really lean into some of the feedback, or if we be so bold to call it criticism, like within that criticism, although it might be difficult to hear, usually, assuming that you've picked a good relationship and a healthy partner, she's giving you that to help you grow, to help you turn into a better version of yourself.
More productive, focused.
Correct. Yeah. And if you care about each other, I think that you should be receptive to that. There have been plenty of times where, vice versa, I've been really upset with you for playing that comparison game. And we've had to have some difficult conversations about that. But these are things that every couple, no matter who they are, I think will face. So having a degree of understanding for each other, and I think a part of the way in which you do that is recognizing those primitive desires or those primitive drives that we are talking about. They are different between men and women, and we are both human. We are both human beings. We both have our flaws, our weaknesses, and if you can understand what drives the opposite sex, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, then you can have some empathy around it rather than having so much judgment around it. Yeah. Like I remember first learning that, okay, the primary drive for a woman is that she wants to feel safe and she wants to, a part of having that safety is getting the attention from someone that can keep her safe. And like, this is a primitive thing. It is normal. So therefore, in my mind, I need to give you the attention that it is that you crave, one, and do my best to provide you with the safety that it is that you need. And I don't always get that right. There are plenty of times where I'm distracted. There have been plenty of times where our life has been completely thrown upside down and everything doesn't feel safe. But the one thing I can control and can always control is the way in which I converse with you and connect with you. And I do my best to try and fulfill that need in you so that I can secure that primitive part of you to make you feel okay. So having some understanding for each other in that regard, even though it's confronting and sometimes difficult, goes a long way.
And communicating. I feel like if I feel like you're really, really distracted, I'm like, I'm feeling really lonely at the moment. Because you can't fix what you don't know because maybe you are distracted. So sometimes speaking up. And same with you with me. If I'm, complaining too much, you can be like, which women do, by the way, all the time, because we're venting. That's what we do. It's in our nature. You can be like, to me, I know that you've got a lot going on. So speaking in an understanding way, I know you've got a lot going on. I know things are stressful.
Instead of, you don't care about me, you don't love me.
Who says that?
I think that's a pretty common statement from many women that are with men that are ambitious and working.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll be like, to me, you'll be like, I just need your, what do you say? You say, I just need your validation, not validation. There's another word for it that you always use.
I don't know.
Like where I have to convince you of something. You want to hear it just to be reminded.
Reassurance?
Yeah, reassurance.
Goodness, it's been a while.
Since I've done this podcast. Oh, my brain's scattered because there's so many thoughts going on with this topic because this has been huge for us though. Like this has been a huge topic, especially working together, training together, doing everything together. We've had to really learn how to communicate and sometimes we over communicate to the point where we're just building up a whole heap of words. Like now I'm coming up with crazy words and trying to articulate how you and I converse, which is probably different to a lot of other people because we spend 24/7 together.
Yes.
So we sometimes take on each other's things too emotionally. And if I'm too erratic or crazy, you feel a bit erratic and crazy. Or if you're too disconnected, I disconnect. So we have the habit sometimes of mirroring each other's demeanor or mood or energy.
Definitely.
And sometimes that can be a detriment to our relationship because we start over communicating our needs. And then we just realize that we're just mirroring each other's needs, which is usually the same thing. We want to be connected. We want time together. We want to be understood, heard, valued. They are all the same, just in different language from a male and female perspective. So, yeah, I hear from you a lot, just to go back to that point of I just need some reassurance. So maybe I'm like complaining too much, but you just want reassurance that you're doing your best to still provide and you're doing your best to work hard. And though I'm complaining, you just want to know that, you know, we're still okay and that you're still loved, essentially, even though things are hard. Because sometimes women may vent their unhappiness and dissatisfaction. And in the same way, I'm like, I need some love. You know, you're working so hard. I just need a little bit of presence. So I come to you saying, like, I'm feeling lonely. So it's giving you an opportunity to come to me and go, yeah, I have been working a lot lately. I'll just give her a little bit. So keep her happy type thing. Even if you don't want to, sometimes it is about like sacrificing how you feel to help the other person, you know, feel a little bit better. It's not easy to do when you're together all the time and just be like, oh, go away. Like, give me some space. You're wanting space and I'm wanting to come in closer and be like, honey, I'm here.
I think with every relationship, there's always going to be someone that is driven by spending more time with each other and someone that is driven by spending slightly less time with each other. And we spend a lot of time together.
Too
and
much time.
I love spending time with you. You're my best friend. But yes, sometimes I think maybe it's a male thing. I don't know.
Or males want to go in their cave to recharge.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just hang out in the cave for a bit and then come out and all is good.
And while you're in the cave, I'm alone and I want to play mate. And I'm like, where is he gone? And I'm searching the cave trying to find you and you're hidden. And I'm like, here I am. Anyway, let's move topics because we spent a lot of time on that. I want to talk about some of the games we play.
So we talked about some of the things to take on board that is important to cut in the new year. But
Trimming.
To help us through some of the challenges, more particularly different to what we're talking about right now, I think that that's probably more fundamental to today's society and people that I imagine that are inevitably struggling with these things. The things that we have faced, as we talked about and touched on very briefly, which is a lot of family struggles, business struggles, et cetera, et cetera. Some of the challenges that we have had, more so relevant in the last year, have been a lot of distraction, a lot of hard work, not as much time or energy to invest in our relationship than what we have had in the past. So we came up with a couple of games that we have found to be very helpful that are worth trying if you are in a relationship in this new year. So whilst we're, fixated on cutting, once we've made those cuts, what is it that we can add and replace in the new year to help us prosper and our relationship prosper?
These are called secret quick connect games. And there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
There's 3 essential games, one after another. The first one is
Tell me a secret.
Tell me a secret. It's really sexy.
Oh, wait till you get to the second game.
The second game, so you tell the person a secret. I'll just, before we go through them, tell a secret. Second one.
Toot my horn.
Toot my horn. Oh, I love that one. I love it when he toots my horn. That's going to be the second secret game. And then the third one, really super boring, but just to tie it all in, is
I'm aware.
I am aware.
There's a fourth one. Can
There's
we add
a
in
new
a fourth one?
Is it fourth
Yeah,
one?
we've done another one, although we haven't
Was it
implemented
yesterday's
as much.
new one?
No, it was a while ago. I give you permission.
Give you permission. Oh, yeah, that was last week. Okay, because we added a fourth one. These have all been added. Like, for instance, number 1, which is Tell Me a Secret, was like a 2-year game that was just the
Longer
singles.
than that. That's from the
really?
very start. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That game was number 1. All of these games have been implemented along years to help us survive. And I know that Toot My Horn came in quite recently, actually.
In the last 6 months, yeah.
Because we were self-deprecating, really, with all the things that we're going through. And you were saying to me, like, what are some things that you like about yourself? And I was like, I don't
Start from the top.
All right, we'll start from the top. Take two. So
Tell me a secret.
tell me a secret is.
Stephanie loves this game. The idea of Tell Me a Secret is to find something within the last 24 hours that might have been special or unique, something that you noticed about your significant other that you can share with them that meant something to you.
It could have been in that day, or it could have been last week.
But something that you might have really appreciated about them, or something that they did that you found might have been really attractive.
Example would be, we were, say, at your parents' house the other day, and I looked at you from outside the circle, because normally I'm inside your circle and next to you. So I saw you from a different perspective interacting, and your mannerisms, what you were wearing, the way that you laughed. So then when it came to that night, I was like, my secret is today I was watching you from afar, and I thought it was so masculine and like your aura was just like on fire, the way that you were interacting, and I thought you were so attractive and you looked so good in your black top, and like I was so attracted to you today. Like I saw you from a different perspective.
Or example for me might have been, my secret is we were sitting together talking, and then the way that you looked at me and I could smell your perfume and you were just taking my breath away. I wanted to say something, but you were so into what you were saying I couldn't interrupt. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, whoa.
Look at us go right now.
As an example.
So
yes.
the secret of that game, the secret game, is that you're appreciating something about the other person, seeing them in a different perspective or a different light that attracted you about that person, finding something in them that made you appreciate them. And it doesn't even have to be an appearance thing. It could be like, you know, today I saw you interacting with your nephews and I just thought that was so sweet seeing you in that setting. Like it could be anything.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be so full on.
Yeah.
But just something that is nice.
So guys, when you're in bed at night, whoever you're with, you're like, say the person, tell me a secret.
Yeah.
And that's when it starts. One person goes, the next person goes. Or you can be like me and sometimes you get tired and you just get a secret and he doesn't get one. I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
There's been some nights where I'm just like, tell me a secret.
All right, game number 2.
Yeah.
Game number 2, Toot My Horn.
Toot my horn.
So as you referenced before, we came up with this game because during some of the challenges and hardships that we had been through in the last 12 months, we both got caught into a bit of a trap of self-deprecation where we were speaking not so fondly about ourselves, and therefore that
or each other, to be honest, at times.
And that then bled onto not speaking very well about each other. I think the language that you use for yourself is usually the language that you project onto your significant other.
Yeah.
So we decided to play a game. I'm normally, admittedly, I think maybe it's a guy thing. I'm a little bit better at tooting my own horn, giving myself compliments and saying I'm awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's something that women have a harder time doing. So I came up with this game and encouraged you. I said, let's play a game, Toot Your Horn.
And you said, allow me to toot your horn.
Then the objective was I wanted to say something about you that I admired. So not something that, you know, where I thought you looked great or where you did something meaningful, but more so something about your character. For example, I might say, let me toot your horn and tell you that you are the most disciplined, hardworking woman that I know. And I see you show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and continue to do what it is that you do, and you do it no better than anyone else I know. And I feel like that is so important and powerful. And I just want to take a moment to say, well done.
Yeah.
As an example. And then the tricky part is you then follow up and toot your own horn, not just toot my horn. The game is I say something about you that I appreciate, that I think is great about your character. Then you have to come up with something about yourself and say,
I appreciate about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for
And then
example,
you do you. Yeah.
I might like that or appreciate about myself that I do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But I think having that language to appreciate yourself as well as your partner and let them know what it is that you admire about them goes a long way and can very easily change the dialogue that you often use when talking to each other every day.
Especially because women want to be seen and men want to be appreciated.
Absolutely.
And admired.
Speaking about being seen,
Yes.
in game number 3,
Yes.
I'm aware.
I am aware. This is also a new one that come in through all of our hardship because I came up with this one.
You did?
I was trying to articulate that your constant problem with me is that I don't understand from your perspective. It's always like, yeah, but you don't understand. That's how a lot of our conversations end, whether it's me or you. So I came up with this game called I Understand That.
I'm aware.
I'm aware, sorry. I don't even know the names of my own game. I am aware XYZ. So I am aware that what you're doing now, from my understanding of what I am aware, so that you know that we're on the same page and that I'm aware of what you're going through. Because a lot of the time I talk about my own perspective and then you will come back and say, well, you're not actually aware of X, Y, and Z. I'm like, well, actually, no, I am. Maybe I'm not voicing it as much, but I actually understand your perspective and your point of view. So it's letting you know that I have an understanding so that you feel like you're not alone.
That whole concept of, especially for women, and I think it, is relevant to men as well.
Yeah.
Like often it's very easy not to feel seen, heard, or understood.
Yeah.
So when the other person says, look, I'm aware of X, Y, and Z, for example, I'm aware that you're working really hard right now and you're getting burnt out.
Yeah.
I'm aware that you're doing this for the sake of our family.
Yeah.
I'm aware that you have all of these stresses that you are also trying to manage. And I'm aware that you're not doing anything with the wrong intention and that you love me.
Yeah. I'm aware that you're living off 4 hours sleep. I'm aware that you are working hard every day to finish our projects.
Which then makes me, if I was on the receiving end of that, feel a little bit more understood. And then if there was anything that you had left out, I could say, well, also this as well that you're not really considering.
Yeah.
But the power of this game is giving the other person that understanding or the empathy to know that we're all on the same page here rather than
feeling misunderstood.
Yeah, I think this is where resentment gets birthed. Like when I sit back and I think, well, you don't know this and you don't know that and it's easy from your perspective or whatever else. Whereas this game completely, eliminates that.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden we're on the same page and we can see what each other is going through. And if there's something that we can't see, well, then that opens up the dialogue or the conversation to be made aware.
Yep.
Correct. Yep. So those are 3 fun little games.
There is one that you wanted to add that we did.
Have we got time?
We have, if we go really quick. Number 4, which is
4th bonus game.
Bonus game, if you've got it in you after all the compliments and all of the understanding.
This one I think you have to be quite conscious of, but you came up with this one as well. There are times where I think you get in situations where you fall into a bit of people pleasing or partner pleasing. I know I'm a culprit of this. When I see that you're not okay, I'll try and do my best to overextend my courtesies, whatever they might be. Maybe I clean the house or maybe I do whatever when really there's other things I could and should be doing, but I feel guilty to do them because I'm trying to support you in your hard time. I think if you see that your partner is doing something like that and doing behaviors purely that are trying to people please and that are not
inauthentic.
Inauthentic.
Like, sometimes you look and you got ants in your pants and you want to get out of there and you're like, is there anything I can do to help you, honey? And I'm like, just go and do what you need to do. I have an understanding that you've got things to do and you don't need to feel the pressure to come and help me here or do this or vice versa. Like sometimes I'm not like I've got things to do and you want to have a full AI conversation about like computer things and like applications and you can see that I'm not present and you're like, I can see, I understand that, this isn't the right time. Let's book another time that we can sit properly.
Yeah. So you came up with a game. I give you permission.
Yeah.
In which case, for example, maybe you say, Jamie, I give you permission to go and work. Or
without
Jamie,
guilt, go and work. It's fine. You don't have to make it up to me.
Yeah. Or Jamie, I give you permission to go to the gym, have a moment, whatever.
Yeah.
And
that sounds so controlling. I give you permission. It's not like that.
No,
but it's having an understanding.
Yeah, it's an understanding that you can break the people-pleasing habit, which I think if you are courteous towards your partner, that we all probably do at times.
Yeah.
And if you're aware enough as the person on the receiving end of that, you can see it. Like, for example, sometimes you might want to cook for me, even though you're extremely tired and whatever. So I might say, hon, I give you permission. have a night off. You don't need to cook for me right now. I can go get my own food. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, relax.
Yeah.
As an example. So this goes both ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are some things that you can take on board for the new year.
To help you communicate, get to know the person better, appreciate what you have.
Correct, yes. And we just encourage you as well to take on board what it is that we spoke about earlier. Cut off the dead branches.
Dead branches.
Instead of trying to overwhelm yourself by adding on new routines or new whatever in the new year, focus on what needs to be cut, because you cannot add something into a system that is broken.
Yeah.
And you need energy and resources to be able to add something.
Yeah.
And the only way that you're going to free up that energy and resource is by subtracting something that does not serve you anymore.
Yeah, whether that's friends, whether that's like an old habit, whether it's like a smoking or drinking or whatever it may be, something that's not serving you anymore.
Correct. And the most actionable thing that we thought of that probably most people can relate to is the social media element, which we spoke about in depth.
Yeah,
And
stop scrolling.
That is something that you can, well, not even
Unless
necessarily.
you scroll past me, you can like my photo.
Not even necessarily stop scrolling, but at the very minimum, like start curating your algorithm, because it is a world of distraction that you can easily eat you up alive if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And that's something that is not hard to do. It can be done in an instant. It can turn your whole life around.
Yeah.
So yes, please take that on board. Give those games a try.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us in our first episode back.
We did it.
First episode of the new year.
Also, I feel like we should give a shout out to the amazing sponsors of this podcast.
Yes, we are in Geelong Photo Studios. We are based in Geelong, Victoria, Australia. So if anyone that is out there looking for a podcast studio, we highly encourage you to check it out.
Yep.
We'll leave a link somewhere for them if you are in the area and looking to do so.
We actually did shoots for Yondit here.
Yes,
That's how
we
we
did.
discovered this place.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
photo shoots.
Lots of things to check out.
Yep.
And then, of course, like we mentioned earlier, you can support us by downloading our lifting application, which is called Lifted. It's available now on the App Store and the Play Store.
And Meal Engine is coming soon.
Mealengine.com. You can sign up to the wait list for when that gets released if you're looking for some support with your nutrition as well.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Thanks for listening and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, and subscribe and do all of that jazz.